Yeah. We're live.
You're live.
All right. So we are back for the final time, and I guess this is more about people asking any final questions. You may be summing up the day, and then we're going to talk about the cask auction.
Yeah. Okay. So I think it's been a different sort of day, different from what we normally do, and enjoy the company of everybody from around the world that come to Islay for the whole week. We haven't been able to do that, and all the distilleries have played their part in getting information out and doing things on their day, just like we have. At this point, I've got to thank James and Catherine for all the work that's gone into putting this together. There's been a huge amount of work that's gone into putting all these videos and chats and tastings and Q&As together so that it all works. And it seems to have gone pretty smoothly. From my point of view, it's gone bloody well for me. I've done absolutely nothing except turn up when I've been told to and do my bit. But a huge thank you to the two of them for making all this work so well.
Favourite son now? I always was, I think.
Bugger off now. I think everyone who's participated, Robin and Mihal and Derek and...
You've done it again. You're going to have to do it all now, so...
No?
Isla.
Oh, Isla. I forgot Isla. The man in the fields. And so all of them have played their part. And everybody else who's part of the distillery, have been having fun and teasing those who are involved in their videos. But hopefully it's given you all a chance to see around the distillery and what we get up to at Kilchoman. We enjoy what we do. We all have a bit of fun. We don't take it too seriously. And I think that's the main thing, that we have a good laugh, a good crack, as they say.
Because we'd normally be sort of... Well, we'd be quite far in by this point. 8 o'clock. You normally head to the bar, don't we? And
we don't have
a couple of drinks. It's a bit of a bonding experience, but it's quite different this year.
Yeah, no, we're not allowed to go to the bar. Normally, we're all stuck in the bar, and there's lots of drinks and stories.
Your bar tab is going,
and the bar tab is going through the roof until I decide I've had enough of that and go home. But anyway, look, it's been great to have you along. We've been thrilled with the number of people that have joined in during the day, and so the final part of the day is to just go through the festival bottling. That obviously was a little different this year. We released it a bit earlier. We released a lot more bottles, and we were taken by surprise by the interest in it. I suppose people will tell us, well, why did you? You should have realised that everyone was going to jump in and want to have part of it. But anyway, I mean, we released 2,630 bottles of a 12-year-old first fill bourbon, cask matured, 11 casks from 2007 and 2008. To me, this is nectar. This is something that I think is at full maturation. It showcases everything about Kilchoman character, the lemon, the citrus, the saltiness, and the soft, sweet peat smoke, and the lovely lingering finish. It coats your mouth. It's at 54.2% alcohol, so it's reasonably strong, but you don't get that. You don't get the feel that it's that strong because of the sweetness of it. A few drops of water opens up a little bit more. Hopefully, you'll be able to get hold of a dram or persuade one of your friends to let you have a dram. You might be able
to. It's beautiful. It's really
and the colour is exquisite in terms of bourbon maturation. My own view is it doesn't need any more maturation. It's at what I would say is it's perfect drinking maturity. Some would argue that you could take it out a bit further and soften it and round it off a bit more, but then maybe you lose some of those characteristics that I'm so fond of in our drams. So.
There's a question about There's a question about the numbering on the back.
Yeah.
I think a few people think they've got number one bottle.
One of
Yeah, one of.
Yeah, one of rather than number one of. No, number one. So we weren't going to start numbering every single label, and so we just put one of 2,630.
It was a bit of a rush, and well, it wasn't a rush, but we obviously have a much reduced team, don't we? So it's not. It's much more challenging to prepare and everything else. So we normally do number the single cast and the Fèis release, but sadly this year more bottles. A bit more added complications, so we didn't quite get around to that.
No, I mean, normally we would only release this at the distillery on our open day. I'm adamant that that's the way I would like to keep it. Those who've made the effort to get to us, I think, deserve to pick up a bottle, and that's the way we've done it right from word go. This year we weren't able to do that, so we released them a bit earlier, and hopefully more people have been able to grab a bottle. And I know that a lot of you are disappointed, but hopefully there'll be a chance next time.
Hiccups.
I got hiccups.
There's also just regarding the Amburek. So the Amburek this is sort of the official launch date today. If the bottles haven't reached the normal retailer online, wherever you normally buy your Kilchoman, if they haven't gotten there yet, then they will do soon. We've sold out here, but we only sort of gave ourselves, if you like, a fairly small allocation of the bottles. So your best, if you missed out on a bottle and you want to get hold of one, then your best bet is to get hold of whoever you normally buy your whiskey from, and it should be on the way there if it's not already. Enjoying that?
That's beautiful.
It is good. It's very good.
Very good. So that's the festival bottling.
Yeah, and then I guess we should talk about the cask auction. So I mean. Well, why don't we talk about the cask and the cask auction, and then we can field some questions that we already have.
Okay. So I think the idea behind the cask auction is that it's our 15th year. 2005 was when we kicked off. Seems an awful long time ago now. We did sell a few casks in the first year and a half to private individuals, really just to raise the profile of the distillery and get us noticed a bit. We then stopped cask sales and concentrated on filling our warehouses and bottling our own stuff. And then this year we thought, 15 years is quite a milestone, and why don't we release a few casks to celebrate that milestone? And so we are actually auctioning 15 casks in batches of 5 on 3 occasions. The first batch is being released now, 8 o'clock. The auction went live. And it will close on the 11th of June, I believe, for the first batch of casks. And we have 5 different cask types that we're auctioning. The one behind us here is STR, that's shaved, toasted, and recharred ex-red wine cask from the Douro Valley. We have Madeira cask. We have an Old Rosé sherry hogshead. We have a port cask, and we have a first fill bourbon barrel. The experimental casks, all the ones apart from the bourbon, just let me finish, they have been used for finishing. So they've been used for finishing for maybe 6 months, and then we will fill them with new spirit. And the first fill bourbon is a first fill bourbon that's come straight from Kentucky.
Why did you decide on using those? I guess technically they're refill casks, aren't they? Yeah. So the SDR, the Madeira, and the port. Yeah. Was the feeling that these might suit a slightly longer longer maturation? So people wanted the winning bidder wanted to mature it on for a reasonable age, then there would be the option to do that.
Well, it's difficult to refill because I think a refill tends to be a cask that's been used as a first fill for maybe 5, 10, 15 years and then emptied and refilled again. These have only been filled for 6 to 8, 10 months maximum. And so they're virtually fresh, but we've just taken out some of the impact from these cask types just to soften it a little bit. You'll get all that influence, but it won't be quite so hard hitting. And we thought that was a better option than the first fill experimental cask types. And I think it will work really well, I'm sure. we think the auction will be popular. We hope so anyway, and it gives the opportunity for people to take ownership of a cask, which you're not allowed to do anymore, sadly, at Kilhoman.
Not allowed to do. You make that sound like someone else took that
not
decision.
Yeah. Not allowed to do. I don't mean allowed. I mean we don't do anymore, because I think it takes away with what we want to do, which is take them through to full maturation and bottle them ourselves. And that is something that we'll continue to do. And we won't be doing this very often, but hopefully we'll have a lot of you interested in bidding away, and hopefully, at the end of the day, certainly some of you will be very successful.
Now, the port, the Madeira, the STR, and the Oloroso are they're down as being 50 ppm Port Ellen malt, and then the bourbon cask is 20 ppm. I don't know if I'm saying this to you or to these guys, but just to clarify that.
Yeah, so. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the plan. So.
That's the plan. So so the 100% Isla, our own barley, will be at the 20 parts in the bourbon. In the bourbon, yeah. Okay.
And there's a question coming in about, will people get to choose their barley variety and their yeast variety and filling strength and everything else?
I mean, filling strength is what we fill them all at 63.5. That's the recommended reduction at that strength, just to give it a kickstart of maturation. So we will be doing that. Look, the experimental barley and yeast varieties, that's something that we keep aside, and it's different. You'll be getting the Maori distiller's yeast, and it'll be the malt that we buy from Port Ellen at the moment is Concerto at the higher peating level, and then our own barley at the lower peating level will be Concerto as well.
And so these casks are the 5 casks that are available now are up on the website. So if you go to kilhomandistillery.com, select the menu, cask auction, have a look at the cask. It's fairly self-explanatory, I guess. Each are individual lots, so you can bid on them. The bidding will continue over the next 10 days, 12 days. And yeah, keep an eye on it if you're interested, for yourself or for a group. We decided that the cask would be an interesting change up to maybe a bottling for people as a 15th anniversary. We did that for the 10th anniversary. So some people, I think, feel a bit like, I probably prefer a special, a commemorative bottle rather than a cask. But this is just about kind of changing it up a bit, I guess. If people feel like they want to club together and get it jointly, then that would also be a great idea. But hopefully people don't feel like we're sort of I don't know what to say, but this is something that we will do, which is a one-off. I don't think there's any plans to offer more casks.
I think this is just doing something slightly different, I think, and offering everybody a chance to grab a cask in this way. And the fairest way of doing that was through an auction. So start bidding. So I think we're about to wrap it up now. Yes.
Yeah.
So thanks very much indeed for joining us, and parts or all of the celebrations here at Kilhoman for our open day. We look forward to welcoming as many of you as possible next year, where we'll have an extra big party to celebrate what should hopefully be a normal festival week here on Isla, because it's a weird place to be at the moment, where the whole island will be bursting at the seams with people. So it's very, very quiet everywhere. We look forward to seeing you all. Have a great evening and stay safe. Thanks very much indeed.